would be a night dive. I was kind of scared. I'm like, I don't know if I want to do a night dive. Guys, are you listening to me? I just learned how to swim not too long ago. I just freaking talked myself out of this fear yesterday to not get out and think that I'm gonna die underwater. And now you think that I'm gonna go and dive at nighttime when it's freaking dark after sunset? Not a chance. But then, okay, hi guys, I'm trying something new today. I turned the camera lens the other way, so I'm not seeing myself on my phone, but I did put a mirror behind this. Learned this trick online. Honestly, I wanted to talk about a few things. One, I wasn't sure if I should talk about the books that changed my life, some of the books that I've read, or how I got the fear of scuba diving. Actually, you know what? Let's talk about the fear of scuba diving. Some of you might know if you follow me on social media. If you don't, then you don't know, so I'll share it with you. Up until last year, I didn't really know how to swim. I would jump in the water, get scared, paddle quickly like a dog, and then just get out of the water because I would get tired too easily and I wouldn't feel comfortable going into the deep water. My fiance, or boyfriend at the time, now fiance, was adamant on me learning how to swim. I didn't understand. I was like, okay, why are you pushing me so much to learn how to swim? You want me to learn how to swim for you? I don't get it. What is the why? Blah, blah, blah. And he was getting mad at me, you know, and I just couldn't understand it. I couldn't understand why someone would be mad about me not learning how to swim. What's in it for you? This is what I asked. What I wanted to ask, but I didn't ask. Because I thought to myself, you know, ultimately he's suggesting that I do something that's good for me. So let me take this challenge upon myself and actually take this seriously. He was saying that the reason why I really want you to learn how to swim is because when we go to Southeast Asia, I want you to go scuba diving with me. This is one of the activities that I like to do. And I also want to go surfing with you. This is one of the things that he likes to do, and he wanted to share that experience with me. And when I reflected on our conversation, I realized that, you know what, he wants to do something cute, something sweet with me, and I have nothing to lose. I am learning how to swim, one, and I'm getting to see what's under the water. And I don't know if you're like me, but I sometimes used to, before learning, getting my scuba diving license, I would see these random videos on Instagram of these like free divers, scuba divers, and they looked so cool. And I was like thinking to myself, wow, these guys are so freaking cool. But I never thought that that could be me. That thought just had never crossed my mind. I mean, how can I go scuba diving 18 or maybe 30 meters deep when I don't even know how to swim, when I don't even feel comfortable being in the water? Forget about being comfortable being in the ocean. So, long story short, last year I decided to take it upon myself and register for adult swimming lessons. Did I get in my head about it a little bit? You know, I'm an adult, I don't really know how to swim, this is gonna be awkward, or there gonna be any others in the class and whatever. And I was like, you know what? Whatever, who cares? I'm just gonna try it. I'm just gonna take it one step at a time. And that's exactly what I did. I took it one step at a time. I would go to one session. And you know, we had I think the class was had 8 adults in it, or 5 to 8 adults maximum. And the instructor was very helpful, so he was guiding us, helping us as well. And on my downtime, when my fiance had time, him and I would go to the pool together, and he would practice with me. And 2 weeks prior to us going to Southeast Asia, he spent so much time every morning after the gym. Both the two of us, we would go and practice my swimming lessons for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And honestly, in 2 weeks, my skills had gone from here to here. So I started feeling way more comfortable to go swimming. Yeah. So when you go scuba diving for your scuba diving lesson, you have got to pass a swimming test. And that's something that I found out after, you know, doing some research. And I was like, okay, this whole swimming thing is no joke. I gotta pass the swimming test. So when we were in Thailand, we had the gear and everything. And so at first you, at this diving school, you do the first day of the course is in the pool. So they teach you different techniques or whatever. But prior to teaching you the techniques, you put on the gear, and with the gear, they ask you to swim from one end of the pool to the other end of the pool. But they ask you to do it on your back, which honestly, that's something that I felt really comfortable with. And at that point, my thought wasn't like, oh my God, this is a swimming test. Am I gonna pass? Am I gonna fail? Blah, blah, blah. At that point, I had already felt comfortable being in the water, in the deep water as well, that wasn't even a thing. That wasn't even a concern. So I did it. I passed. I went from one end of the pool to the other and came back, and I passed the swimming test. So everyone in the class had passed the swimming test. When I told the instructor that I had just learned how to swim like not too long ago, he was very surprised that I was brave enough to come to the class and do the lesson. Some of the other students were surprised as well, and I was like, oops, them being so surprised is actually making me more nervous. What the heck did I sign myself up for? But it was scary, not gonna lie, because the first time we went into the deep ocean, I got so freaking nervous. I made a mistake that you ought not to make, is I did not drink enough water when I jumped in on my first scuba dive. The reason why it's so important to drink water, aside from, having to do it on a daily basis, is to stay hydrated. If you're not drinking enough water on a daily basis, it doesn't make that big of a difference, because when you breathe in the air, there are still some water particles, and that can help you stay a little more hydrated. But if you're gonna jump in that water with the gas tank doesn't have any water in it. It's just oxygen. It's just gas, so oxygen and nitrate. Oh my goodness, I jumped in, and as soon as I inhaled through the mouthpiece, I realized that I was dehydrated and I had not drank enough water, and I started getting into my head about it and whatnot. I'm like, should I get out of the water? Is it too late? I don't want to die like this. I just learned how to swim. What the hell am I doing here? I can't do this. This conversation in my head lasted the whole dive. So I told myself, there are two things that I kept thinking about the whole time when I was underwater that kept me alive, to be honest, and it kept me conscious enough to not get out of water, or it gave me the strength to not get out of water. One, I kept thinking about my mom. My mom is honestly my role model, definitely one of my role models, and I've always known that, but I didn't realize that up until I was in that water. Because years ago, my mom was going for her driver's license, and due to the language barrier and whatnot, she kept failing. She failed not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 7 times, and she passed her driving lesson, the driving test, on the 8th time. And every time after she would come home, she would fail. Mind you, it's not like you fail one day and you can go the next day to do the test. No, there's a gap. They give you, you have to have a gap and to practice your driving before you can come back. So this took at least a year, if not 2, probably more than that. And every time she would come home, she would fail. She'd be like, I failed. That's okay. I'm gonna go again next time. What? You're not gonna just be sad about it and stay at home and be like, oh, I couldn't do it, and just be down about it? I was really confused. And she would tell me, it's okay. I failed. It doesn't mean that I can't do it again. I'm gonna go again. And she had a smile on her face. I'm like, this woman. So one of the things that I kept telling myself when I was underwater is, I am my daughter's mom. My mom's daughter. So I ought to not give up, and I'm gonna do this. The second thing that kept crossing my mind is, I don't have any kids of my own, but I have 2 nieces and 2 nephews. And I thought to myself, if I'm gonna give up here, I want that's just not acceptable. I know as I get older, life has become more challenging. So what I want to be is I want to be that role model for them, like my mom has been for me. And I thought to myself, life is gonna get tough eventually once these kids grow up, and I want them to come home, and I want to tell them with confidence that they can do it, and I can back it up with the life experience that I've had. I know this is very deep. All of this is happening in my head. All of these thoughts are going through my head while I'm underwater. I know I'm one of those people. Those were the two things that kept me going. And I thought to myself, okay, what do I need to do to survive underwater? Just breathe. That's all. All I need to do is breathe. Okay, even if my eyes are closed, which is not ideal, you should still see things. I'm with a group of people. I'm surrounded by people. Let me just enjoy this experience and not let fear take away from this experience. Anyways, the first dive was freaking scary. It was about 45 minutes or 50 minutes. I was breathing really fast. I was nervous. We're going down the water, down the rope, and I was holding on so tightly that after that dive, after that same day in the evening, my wrist was starting to hurt because I was holding on to that rope so tightly. But I had finally allowed myself near the end of the first dive to just start enjoying the experience. I told myself, all I have to do is breathe. I can do that. That's not difficult. It doesn't require brain power. It just requires some small effort. That's all I need to focus on. I can do that. So mind you, I know I'm breathing through my nose right now, but when you're underwater, you're breathing through your mouth. And I did that. So I completed my first dive, and we came out and we took a little bit of a break, and the instructor was like, okay guys, are you ready? We're gonna go down in 10 minutes. I'm like, oh, we're going out again? He's like, yeah, it's 2 dives. Like, we're going on 2 dives today. And I was like, oh my god, this is freaking scary. How am I gonna do that? Long story short, I was like, I did it once. If I did it once, I can do it again. So I did it. I went diving the second time, and the experience was even better. Then I went the next day, I went diving the 3rd time, then the 4th time, and that's how I got my open water diving certificate. Yeah, I freaking did that. Your mind is so powerful, and it's gonna play some freaking tricks on you. Don't let it. Just be aware that it can. After I got my open water certificate, one of the instructors mentioned it, and some people in the class mentioned it to me as well, but I didn't think much of it. But one of the instructors mentioned to my fiance, who had already completed his advanced while I was doing my open water, that I should probably do my advanced, because if I do my advanced, I'm gonna do it at a discount. They're gonna give me at a discounted rate, and one of the dives, the required dives for the advanced, would be a night dive. I was kind of scared. I'm like, I don't know if I want to do a night dive. Guys, are you listening to me? I just learned how to swim not too long ago. I just freaking talked myself out of this fear yesterday to not get out and think that I'm gonna die underwater. And now you think that I'm gonna go and dive at nighttime when it's freaking dark after sunset? Not a chance. But then I asked the instructor, I don't know if I want to do it. He's like, you know, it's going to be really cool. You're going to see bioluminescent lights. Did you just say that we're going to see bioluminescent lights? Excuse me? I looked at my fiance. I was like, oh my god, I'm doing this. I don't do this as much anymore. I don't do this anymore at all, actually. But back when I first started my Facebook account, I would use my Facebook cover photo personally for myself. I didn't even tell anyone as I was doing it, as a bucket list. So 13 years ago, I posted a picture of bioluminescent lights at the beach that I got off Google or something, because that's when I had just learned about bioluminescent light. And I put it as my cover photo as something that I want to do one day. So when he said that we're gonna get to see bioluminescent lights underwater, it was an immediate yes. I was like, I am not letting this fear stop me from checking this thing off my bucket list that I've been wanting to do for 13 years. Are you kidding me? So guess what? I registered for the advanced course. We went on our day dive the first day. And then that same day we went on our night dive. And I asked if I could, if my fiance can join us, and they said, yeah, he can join as a fun dive. So he joined. And we were underwater. So we got on the little boat, and the little boat takes you to the big boat from the one that you dive in. This boat, as it was taking us to the big boat, I would look out and I'd see this beautiful sunset. I'm like, wow, what a gorgeous sunset. What an experience. What a life. What a privilege it is to be able to experience this. So I'm not gonna let the fear get to my head. We got on the boat, we put our gear on, it started to get dark, and we jumped in. Every one of us had flashlights. I think on our night dive there were about 4 or 5 people, including the instructor. Every one of us had flashlights, and the instructor explained that once we get in the water, at some point he's going to signal to us to turn off our flashlights, and once we all do it at the same time, then we will be able to see the bioluminescent lights. And in order to be able to see the bioluminescent lights, you got to move your hands, because it's these little planktons that light up in the dark, and you can see them when you create some movement. So we went underwater. He signaled. We saw some little animals and whatnot, and we didn't actually go that deep on our night dive. The instructor signaled that we turn off our flashlights, and at that point, oh man, at that point, I saw the bioluminescent lights, and I started crying. I'm not gonna cry on camera. It's okay to cry, but I don't want to. At that point, I just started crying. Those were real tears of joy. And the thing is that they tell you not to smile too hard, because if you do, then your mask is gonna start to like come off or whatever. Like, you just gotta like keep it a little composed, keep your composure a little bit. And I was just like, I couldn't get over it. I was in awe of that experience. The fact that because I was able to finally get over my fear and talk myself into going for the swimming lessons, talk myself into doing the open water, and then the advanced, I was able to fulfill my dream, and it was freaking awesome. I wouldn't have been able to have done any of that if not for my fiance's encouragement. And that brings me to the point of that it's important to have someone supportive and loving in your life. It's honestly, in my opinion, a requirement. But that experience made me realize that fear is all in your head. At the end of the day, it is you versus you. Your friends, your enemies, your colleagues, whoever, whatever, anyone can tell you good things that are good for you, and they can tell you things that are bad for you. It is up to you to decide how you're going to filter that information, and how you're going to process that. It is up to you to filter the information that you tell yourself, about whether you are able to achieve something or not. It's totally up to you. And you know what? That's actually empowering. That's exciting. That's challenging. That, to me, it gives me something to look forward to in the morning. Some way that I can challenge myself. And this is why I started my YouTube channel. I've been wanting to do this for 11 freaking years, but I kept getting to my head. And I thought to myself, finally, that if I was able to do that and get over my fear, then I'm able to do anything. And the reason why I'm sharing the story with you guys is because I want you to know that if I was able to do that, it doesn't necessarily have to be scuba diving for you. If I was able to get over my fear, you are able to do that too. There's absolutely nothing special about me. And I hope this story encourages you to get over your fear, whatever it is, whether it is asking someone out, whether it is, you know, applying for that job or maybe quitting that job, and whatever it is. Honestly, man, life is too short to have regrets. I don't want to have regrets, and I hope this video helped you and will push you to say yes, because it's freaking awesome. Maybe you'll see your bioluminescent lights as well. Not maybe, you will. And I wish that for you. Okay? Bye-bye.
Give us your review of the Patty open water.
Shitless
She was
this morning.
scared shitless this morning. I can attest to that.
I like scared.
And then this man helped a lot.
Yeah, this man and Hugo.
And
Hugo and Pim.
Team, yeah.
Pim, 3 instructors. Very helpful. Now I feel so much better. I'm excited for the ocean tomorrow.
It's a good thing you learned how to swim this year.
I know.
Okay. Great. Let's go.
So, bioluminescent lights. I've been wanting to see that since 2012. It's on my Facebook too. But I saw it not even at the beach, I saw it underwater. The best things are on the other side of fear.
There's the conquering hero.